but we just was worried about the property and where, of course, the state taking over the property can be taken. Well, we wouldn't even be standing here. We just was gonna let her handle everything like it was supposed to have been done. And now we standing here in the whole situation. Like, you know, we sat back and let her handle everything and she ain't do nothing. So now we got to be pulled back into, you know, all this drama. And
well, she definitely has expired her 90 days of dispensing with the state like it should have been.
How far past the 90 days is she?
90 days
she
ended in
a
August.
year, more than a year.
Ended in
Has she
August.
filed a request for extension or anything?
No,
We can do it if we want to
she
fight the
came
balance that county.
in today with an appraisement, and she had amended at the top, and I said, Candy, you can't turn in an amended return if you haven't turned in the first appraisement. And she stated that her attorney was supposed to have turned one in for her, the same gentleman that you had talked to. And I told her and had Kim Toppings to check all records and everything, and there was no appraisement. The appraisement was so badly, or so poorly filled out that I asked her to take it back because she had misunderstood some of the things that she had filled out. But she did have the property on there, she did have the vehicles on there and personal property. I don't think there was any money or anything that she had listed. Now, she asked me could she turn this in after it was filled out correctly, and I told her that she could. But that's still not going to keep the commissioners from removing her if they choose to do that. She said that she was in the understanding that she didn't have to do anything else. The lady that helped her, the Hazel or whoever that was, died in December, and she fully didn't understand what she was supposed to be doing. So, and I told her that, you know, yes, the commissioners did have that right, and I think that she has changed some names on titles of cars because she thought she was able to, and I told her that she was not allowed to do anything, sell anything, or dispose of anything until after the appraisement, because then it runs in the paper for 90 days, and then it comes back to the commission that if there's any bills outstanding, they file those, and then she can dispose of to take care of those bills. But she's taking a lot of things on her.
After a short, like, if you have a conversation with the woman, you can tell that she's not at the level where she should be handling this kind of situation. Not to talk bad.
We're not gonna say she dumb,
Well, you know, there's part of the law that says you have to do this within a particular amount of time. Once you don't do that, then that puts you basically as far as not being able to do the job within a time period required. Now, I'm like Mr. McCann, though, that anytime we hear these, we like to hear both sides, and we realize it's an inconvenience to you all because of what you're doing and how far you have to come in your commitments. I think we've heard your side of it, and we've heard what the law says, and we know she didn't conform to that statute that says you have to have these things in within that period of time. But we haven't heard her side of the story, and to be fair,
She was given notice
well,
to be here tonight.
and I realize that, and I'm not picking this or that. What I'm saying is when you have attorney representing you, and they request a continuance, and they give us a good reason, we're kind of obligated to go along with that. We don't have to, but if you've got someone that's requesting a continuance because of health reasons, then it's real hard not to.
And
like I said, that's why I asked if she'd done this before, if she'd had any other continuances or anything like that, and she hasn't. So.
And our point is she waited till just now to get the lawyer when she's had a whole year to get a lawyer to handle all this. And the only reason she got a lawyer, it seems like, is because this date is finally came up where she's got to do something, either put up or shut up. So now she's putting up, you know what I'm saying?
I don't think anybody's disagreeing that she's had a gross neglect of responsibility. And I believe on the 24th, if we wait to give them ample time to have their attorney come to make the decision, give her a chance to come in and explain to us, why did you neglect your responsibility?
Yeah, I think the position that I will take is she's already vacated her authority to carry this out. She messed up. I think we have to give her a day in court to say that, but that's where I said she's already has expired her authority to do anything to that estate because she hasn't acted in time. I just feel a little uneasy about taking action on that and no one present since the attorney sent the letter.
I understand.
But I think that she'll have to prove to us that there's an awful lot of reasons why we should not remove her.
We can give her notice of the 24th.
That'll be the intent on the 24th, to remove her.
And we know what your all side is, so if you all have commitments, we don't, you know, I wouldn't expect you to make it back. But we have your side of the story, we listen to her side of the story, then make a decision. I think it looks pretty clear so far that basically statute says you have it in with X number of times. If you don't, then you're in violation of that statute, and that's reason to remove you, so.
And I just asked what happens if she doesn't show up the 24th, because the attorney's office called this afternoon, wanted to know when I thought the next hearing date would be, and I told her probably the 24th, and she said, well, they didn't know they'd be able to make it at that date either.
And I vote to be a remover, I can tell you that.
Yeah, that's why I asked if there'd been a continuance before, and there hasn't been. If she'd done this before, then I'd be less likely to wait. But I think where she hasn't done it, but now, we might want to let her know that you know, that we're not going to take it past the 24th unless something would come up significantly different than what we
Is
do.
that
And that's fair.
that time
I
or
think
is
that's
that
fair.
At 10 a.m.,
10 a.m.?
June the 24th at 10 a.m.
Okay.
Now, if my brother can't be here, I guess I'll be there.
All right, that'd
And I'll be
fine.
here also.
Thank you.
And then
Thank
if
y'all.
we appoint you, because you still have a bond standing, it may be expired now.
Oh, I can place another bond.
Okay. Then if you are appointed, you know, if they agree to appoint you, then maybe you can get leave then to come in and take care of all.
Oh, that's already been confirmed. I'll place there, will be me.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Yeah, you know.
Well, the next thing we have on the agenda is the Lincoln Public Service District for the boundary changes to include Lower Mud River. However, we better wait on their leader.
Wow.
Well, the president.
I'll try to be brief, it'll probably just take you 45 minutes.
Oh,
He gets paid for the hour, Judy.
I'm gonna have to find me something. Jason, honey, you didn't even have to come, but I'm glad you did, so you
You can-
explained to him what,
Ferris told me to be here.
are you gonna stay?
Yeah, I'm just gonna use the restroom while you're.
Okay.
Thank you all for waiting on me.
Okay, Rick.
Welcome back, Rick.
Thank you.
Rick is here for the hearing at 5, so.
This is a pretty interesting meeting, I must admit. As you know, on May 6th, the County Commission entered an order proposing enlargement of the Lincoln PSD into the Lower Mud River area. That was to facilitate the construction of the water project to serve Lower Mud River. And when this process gets done, the Lincoln PSD would have the legal authority to do so. At that meeting, you entered an order and it had a public meeting specified. That public meeting was held at 5 p.m. earlier today. There's also some other requirements. The Public Service Commission had to be notified within 10 days of that May 6th meeting. That was done by me on one day after the next day. There is a requirement for an affidavit of publication, Class 1 legal ad in the local newspaper that was placed on May 19th, 2010, 16 days before, and it has to be at least 10 days. There had to be a posting in not less than 5 conspicuous places in the area. It has to be done within 10 days before, and Mike and I did that also on May 19th, 16 days before, so we complied with all that. The Public Service Commission, of course, will require documentation of all that. They'll also require the minutes of the public meeting plus the order that you're going to consider tonight. The order says the order must indicate that the County Commission considered the feasibility of the enlargement of the boundaries, and it must also find that the enlargement shall be conducive to the preservation of public health, comfort, and convenience. So that